Thank you very much, and thank you very much to London Business School and to the Dean for inviting me to participate in this event. I feel it's a real privilege to be in front of what I feel is an audience in whose hands the future of Latin American development is going to partly depend. In terms of educational outcomes, although they've improved, but in terms of educational outcomes and mean level of schooling, this is one of the areas that Latin America is extremely weak compared to other emerging regions, in particular Eastern Europe and Asia.
The big challenges is what kind of education they are getting, and in particular, in many regions, or even within a state like São Paulo, the wealthiest state, you have really the people that are going to private school are way ahead of the game than people in public schools.
Brazil has one of the strongest tax gathering capacities in Latin America. It has one of the biggest states, whereas in most of the rest of the region, it's still woefully narrow tax bases. I mean, Mexico, which is such an important economy, gathers something like 11% of GDP in non-oil tax, which is what can you do with that?
Maybe in Latin America today, the question is how many people are in the educational system. Therefore, this is not a problem of today. It's the problem, it's the legacy of the failure politics that we have been following, of the politics that we have had in the past. And now for Latin America, the important thing is to have all their kids in the school.
And one of the criticism perhaps of the state-owned banks is that they are still favoring financing to the very large companies. They are, as opposed to providing more financing to the small companies, to entrepreneurs, to start a business. And this is one of the big challenges for Brazil, is to make more money available to smaller companies and people with ideas, innovations.
How we make the markets we have in our own countries more efficient and more liquid. People do not operate more in these markets because information costs are very high, transaction costs are very high, compliance costs are very high, and because in Latin America, around 40% of the total economic activity it's generated in the black economy.